Yeah, so I am the education director, and I look at how the world will learn Houdini. So I work with studios around the world to figure out kind of how to train their artists and understand what their challenges are. And then I take a lot of those answers and I bring them to schools so that we try to create a channel between industry and what's being taught at schools. And then the last couple of years, our technology is developing at such a rapid rate, has been kind of hacking the learning curve to figure out how to resequence some of those things so that artists can work on them in different domains of the pipeline.
Okay, that's perfect. Is this your first time in Barcelona?
I was in Barcelona in 2007, so I feel like I'm a totally different person even if the city's changed, and there still has this feeling here, this feeling of creation, so I'm happy to meet that part again.
That's great. Could you please comment on the process of the certification of the school? Like, how has our process been?
Yeah, so that's a good question. SideFX as a whole, we're a company that is about deeper values, and one of those values is integrity. So for us, just certifying someone so they get a piece of paper isn't really what we're interested in. We're interested in strong relationships and deep sort of partnership. So this means we only certify a very small number of schools. Even if there are thousands of schools teaching Houdini, we certify 30 schools a year around the world. And those schools are ones that we see as worth recognizing because we respect so much of what they're doing. They are trying to create real artists, and they are trying to connect those artists to the industry in a way that they'll lead the industry.
All right.
So a few years ago, we certified you guys, because we respected so much of the quality of the student work. There's real differentiation in the reels that are coming out from here. There aren't very many schools in the world that teach crowds, that teach character effects, and really beautiful classic effects as well, where there's this eye for realism and expression together. So certification is an annual process too. That's because our software is changing every year, and it can be hard for schools to stay up to date with that. But not you guys. You seem to have that figured out.
Well, that's great. What do you think is the importance of forming in a certified school, like vouched by SideFX?
To our studios, it communicates something. So our certification has a panel of judges from studios around the world, including Pixar or Framestore, The Mill, Double Negative, and they actually say, they score the work. There are other components that we look at, like curriculum and knowledgeable instructors, but a lot of it comes from the studios saying what they think the quality is. And this allows the school to get exposure to those studios as well. And then it denoises things. Studios have so many junior artists that apply to them. And so if SideFX says these 30 schools are producing talent that you really can listen to, they hear it differently when it comes from us, especially when it's so selective. And that allows them to say, from these schools, we might actually hire them into more senior level roles, or they have more mobility with their career after.
Okay, so I think you already answered this, but I'm going to ask again. How did you see the level of our students here at FX Animation?
So, you have so much you're doing in a short period of time, which means that you are crafting a student's judgment of the pipeline, their idea of themselves, of what their abilities are, as well as getting the technical skills. So immediately what stood out was the reel looks different from any other school I've seen. The work looks at a higher quality. There is expressive components, and this quality, year after year, has been what we've seen from FX Animation. It's never dropped. It seems to expand and get better each year.
That's great. How do you see FX as a school regarding to others such as Nomon or Lost Boys, talking about the line of formation and quality?
Yeah, so think that there are comparisons in that some schools, Nomen, Lost Boys, as private schools, and like you, are able to do something a little different. One that is have greater adaptability. So you can say, hey, you know what? We thought things were going this direction, and now it looks like the industry is moving here. Let's follow. Instead of it taking 2 years, which sometimes with government regulations, it can take a long time. The other part is when there's a feeling of a studio in a school. So that's not always the way it is. Sometimes a school feels like a school that has people learning about studios. Here it feels like a studio, right? It feels like people are coming and they're in a studio, they're seeing where things get made in the most professional manner, and then they have to bring their professionalism to it instantly.
Okay. What message would you leave to future students that are interested in forming in Houdini?
The DNA of procedural thinking that's part of Houdini is a big part of how art will be made in the future. There used to be this tension between artisanal and procedural, and I think that's changed. So that art of future thinking is something that you can bring to any part of the pipeline, and I think is where studios will find a lot of worth for those skills.
And last but not least, could you please leave a message to all of our FX students?
Oh, mostly just to say thank you for all the great work everyone's doing, because I'm a huge fan.
Okay, that would be all, Julie. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.